Hello and welcome everyone once again to another episode of Algorand Developer Office Hours. I'm your host, Ryan Fox. I am the developer advocate here at Algorand, and I am thrilled to be joined by a pair of guests today, Alexander Trifonis and John Mazzoni. They are the co-founders at Algodev, and that is the company that is building Algodex, an expanding set of FutureFi services on top of Algorand. So today we're going to be learning about what the heck is a DEX. Spoiler alert, that's a decentralized exchange. We want to know why would you want to build a decentralized exchange on top of Algorand. So they're going to be talking to us about and demoing the design and the implementation of Algodex. So welcome, Alexander and John. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us where in the world you're joining us from, and then let's hear a little bit about Algodex. Welcome.
So I can go first. I'm currently in Alex's living room. We're in Burlington, Massachusetts, Alex's nice house. And yeah, I'm an accountant by trade, but I've always been involved in crypto, mainly in Ethereum, and then mainly within Ethereum in NFTs. So I met Alex on Twitter when I was starting my own project for an NFT Marketplace on Algorand. I saw the DEX. I wanted to join, figured out we lived 30 minutes apart. And so it's been just, great since then. We worked together amazing. Alex is a really strong leader, and he's also very technically savvy. And then so I'm just here helping him on the business development side, whatever I can do. And then also with the NFT Marketplace, that's kind of like my baby. So we're trying to fit that into to the ecosystem we're building.
Yep. So my quick background is, I was tweeting a lot about Algorand for a few months, and comparing and contrasting it to other blockchains, and I just really fell in love with Algorand. Basically, I just liked everything about it, and I noticed there's no DEX for it, and with my engineering background, I just decided I could be the person who makes the DEX. Why don't I do it? Because I was just impatient. I'm just like, okay. There's all these people debating me on Twitter all the time, okay, Algorand doesn't have a DEX, why should you even be into it, blah, 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 so I'm like, okay, I could do it and just prove all these people on the internet wrong at a minimum. So I kind of went down the path. I started doing research more into smart contracts, how to use Teal, and eventually I figured out that there's a sample DEX on Algorand that Jason Weathersby made, and so I saw that, and I reached out to him. I had a lot of questions about Teal and how to use it and so on. He answered every single question the moment I asked him, which is absolutely fantastic. So I quickly got myself up to speed on how to actually do smart contracts. I have an engineering background. I've been programming since the age of 7, so I've been confident. So I'm confident I can do anything software related. It's all about just me learning the skills. So there's nothing in my mind where I'm thinking, okay, I'm not sure if I can actually make a DEX or whatnot. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to take this on. So I started doing it on the side in addition to my day job. So I program, I wake up early at 5 a.m. and work on it. And then after work, I'd work on it too. But there's just so much enthusiasm from other people about it too. It's just obvious that, if I just make the thing, it's going to reach some degree of success. People are at least going to use it. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever done any kind of software on the side. One of the most challenging things for any project is just getting users for whatever you make. So I'm like, okay, I know the software side. I'm probably going to have that figured out. I have the user side figured out. So, I could just do this full time. So I decided to go full time, make a startup. I created a corporation for it, and I started looking for help. Before I know it, it turns into a real project. So that's kind of where I am now.
Well, that's awesome to hear. That's a great plug for our Algorand developer portal. Once again, we put lots of articles and solutions up there as kind of proof of concept stuff. So it's great to see that you have taken this and then actually built it out into a company, and that you guys are well on your way to grabbing a market share, grabbing new users. So I look forward to seeing today more about that design and getting underneath the covers and showing devs kind of what you've done with it. So take it away.
Okay, so I'll start presenting. So we have a slide deck first, and then after the slide deck, we'll get into some demos of the actual exchange. So we'll try not to spend too much time on the slide deck because it's the most boring part, honestly. But I mean, I'm not trying to put myself down. It's just a slide deck.
Just a quick overview.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, we're building Algodex. It's a decentralized exchange. You might ask, why even use a decentralized exchange? Why not just use Coinbase? And the reason goes back to why even use a cryptocurrency in the first place, which is that you have complete control over your money. So if you trade on a decentralized exchange, you're in total control of your wallet, and nobody can, assuming it's a fully decentralized exchange, not like a partially decentralized one. But I don't need to get into all that, but Algodex is 100% decentralized. So you have full control of your money at all times, and your money is not stored on the exchange. It's going to be stored in escrow accounts owned by you that you can cancel and withdraw from. Your private keys are never even touched by the exchange. It doesn't even have technical access to your funds. So it's purely a mechanism really to trade with other people and also see orders on the order book. That's all done through smart contracts.
Yeah, so just to highlight some of the issues facing the Algorand ecosystem, there is no decentralized exchange to trade ASAs, and there's very limited ways for you to actually trade ASAs with another person. Like, sure, you can trade algo between different algo, hosting wallets, but you really can't, it's tough to get certain ones, like Yieldly, for example. If you want to just go buy Yieldly, you need to go do it through Uniswap and buy ERC20 tokens and then send them to your MyAlgo wallet, and it turns into Yieldly. So, lessening that friction will bring a dramatic amount of liquidity onto the Algorand ecosystem when you can easily trade it back and forth. And then there's also no completely decentralized NFT marketplace. There are other marketplaces out there, but they're pretty much as centralized as they get. They're taking a % of the sales. It's all hosted on, one of their private servers. There's really nothing decentralized about it, besides that the payments are going through in a crypto. And there's also no ASA launchpad up right now. So any new project that wants to come on to the Algorand ecosystem, they have no way to launch their token. I mean, they can go through another launchpad that's not specifically designed for Algorand, but it would be so much easier if we just had one native to our blockchain. There's limited ability for yield farming, and there's also limited ability to bridge chains. We're just starting to see the first of that now. Axelar is working on some solutions too, and we're going to be working with them to see how we can implement bridging into our DEX. So this is our first solution to the biggest problem, we think, and it's Algodex. And so it's a completely decentralized exchange. The limit order book is right on chain, and we use escrow accounts and atomic grouping to make all these transactions go through. Algorand, as you are probably all aware, has 4.5-second settlement, and it's going to be upgraded soon. So this is one of the only blockchain technologies out there where you could do something like this, completely decentralized limit order book. So it's really unique. We find it really unique. We think it's the best technology. We're huge bulls. Alex, if you wanna go over any of these technical points, we're probably going to get into it more when we do the demo. So I don't need to go over all this right now.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, right, it's going to use limit order book using escrow accounts and atomic grouping. That basically means that all the orders are limit orders, and whenever you place an order, it goes into an escrow account that's unique to you. And basically, your wallet is the owner of that escrow account, so you can cancel it out at any time and have all the funds reimbursed to you. And other people can withdraw from your escrow account, but only if they do a trade. So they have to send you the equivalent amount of money, whatever you're trading for, directly to your wallet, and simultaneously take money out of your escrow account. That's what the atomic grouping does, is it ensures that if one transaction fails, then it makes the entire group fail. So someone can't that's the whole point, is that someone can't cheat you by like taking some money out of your escrow account and then not sending you the equivalent back to you. Right, and the server side, so basically the server side is just for user convenience. So the whole reason we're hosting as a website is so that people don't have to download the software and install stuff on their computer and run it from their computer. So basically the server side just caches the blockchain. It's like a blockchain indexer made just for Algodex. And this is all currently working, by the way. So I'll show you guys later. When you go into the UI, all the orders and the trades and so on that you see are coming from our custom backend. So basically, but when you place a trade though, it goes directly from your computer to the blockchain. It doesn't pass through our servers. So none of the money is transmitted through us, which also helps us on the legal side, because we're not transmitting anyone's money. You are doing it like through your browser, basically. And I can go more into here, how Algodex works. So basically, when you place an order, you can either be a maker or a taker. So what this means is when you're like, as a maker, you know, like a market maker, you're creating an escrow account and you're funding that escrow account with algos or also with ASAs. So for example, if you want to buy an ASA, you create an escrow account. This is all done through the software, so you just click a few buttons. You don't have to like know, you know, all this stuff. It's just a few button clicks, but basically the software will create an escrow account for you and then give you the transactions that you'll sign off on with my Algo wallet. And you'll fund the escrow account with algos, and then like if you want to buy an ASA, you'll just put algos in the escrow. Or if you want to sell an ASA, there's a different type of escrow where you put a minimum algo balance in it, and then you put the ASA that you want to sell into the escrow. Then these escrows themselves then opt into the order book, and everyone else in the world can see, you know, what orders are out there from the order book, which is a stateful contract on the Algorand blockchain. So basically, then when someone wants to execute a trade, what they do is that then they're in a taker mode where they're taking money out of the escrow accounts. But remember, it's in an atomic group, so they have to simultaneously send over, you know, the equivalent amount to the owner of the escrow. So that's basically how it works. There's a diagram here. Just, you know, we're working on making all the technical diagrams, which will help in the white paper and the audit and stuff like that.
So our future products, these we're kind of working on in parallel to the DEX, but the DEX is really taking a lot of brain power as of right now. So we're mainly just focusing on the DEX and these kind of, you know, our background things that are going on. The first being the NFT Marketplace. So we really do want to create a decentralized NFT marketplace where there's no, you know, central party, you know, interfering in any of the trades or taking potential profit from artists. So yeah, no middleman or operator means no fees. We really don't want to be charging fees on our platform for anything. Like same with the DEX, we want you to just go on there and trade. You know, instead of like Coinbase, you know, 5% fees or whatever they are, they're crazy. And we also want to implement a pretty unique tokenomic structure into the NFT marketplace to allow you to earn algo through essentially pledging on your favorite artists. We can get into this more later. And then our other product that we're just starting to conceptualize now is a launchpad. We think it would be really nice to have the launchpad paired right on the DEX. So anybody, just like on Binance, can come on and start a project. And we'd also like to simplify a DAO governance template. So once we set up a DAO for Algodex, it's going to be pretty easy to just copy and paste that template and allow other people to use our template to then create their project and their DAO structure. It's how it's done on a lot of other blockchains. So we're just trying to essentially replicate what works on Algorand. This is just a rough outline of the roadmap for the DEX. So the DEX testnet is likely coming the end of Q3, beginning of Q4. And then we have to get the security audit passed. That could take, roughly 2 months. And during that time, we're going to be upgrading the DEX, the features and functionalities of it. We're not sure how much we're going to be able to add in before we get it to mainnet, but it's going to be really, really high quality once it does get to mainnet. We're going to have multiple, we already have 900 testers signed up to test on testnet, so we should get some pretty good feedback from that. And then we plan to tokenize, we wish to tokenize the platform after DEX mainnet is released. And then after that, we're gonna transfer the governance over to a DAO control, which is semi-complex. So we're almost gonna see and wait and see how Algorand does it in Q4 this year, and then maybe base our ideas off theirs. And about us, we're just a group of Algorand community members dedicated to building solutions for everyone in the ecosystem, retail and institutional. And we're focused on that biggest pain point first, which is being the DEX. And this is our team. I'm not going to go over all of us. We have four highly experienced software engineers. We have 2 advisors, and then there's me and Alex.
All right, guys. So I'm going to be presenting Algodex. So hold on to your seats. This is the exchange, and it's currently all working here. So you can see the prices of all of the assets. And these are from actual trades on testnet. And likewise, this chart is from actual trades that I've mostly been trading with myself the past few weeks. So we have a token I made up called LAMP. I made that right at the beginning. I named it after my lamp that was in my room. That's the story behind it. We have this order book. These are all real orders, and I'll show you in a second placing orders. So these are all the sell orders for LAMP. So these are the prices. This was the last trading price, basically, and then these are all the buy orders, and then you can see the amounts and the cumulative amount, and then these are all the historical trades that occurred, and then these are open orders and order history and assets, basically. So and right, so you can connect your wallet here. Right, so this is the trading interface. So you can place, right now you can place limit orders, buy or sell, and connect your wallet. It opens up my Algo wallet. So right now we only support my Algo wallet, but we're planning on supporting other wallets, including the Algorand official wallet down the road, which is pretty exciting. So I started, actually they reached out to me, the Algorand team that's working on the wallet. So we have to coordinate how to actually do that. But we're going to do that down the road. It's just a matter of prioritization. We have limited funding and whatnot. But anyways, so so basically connect your wallet, and then you have the ability to buy and sell orders. So if I place a buy order as a maker, which is actually called post only mode, but that's basically what it means. So you're posting an order onto here. There's going to be a third mode too, which basically says, post and execute or something like that. That does both simultaneously. It's just not ready yet. So post only means maker mode, and immediate or cancel means you're going to be executing against someone's order that's already been placed. So if I'm placing an order, I can type in a price, for example, 0.78, and then let's say I want to buy 10 LAMP. So now this is placing an order from my Algo wallet. And it just got placed. I don't know if it went there. I actually want it because it's really cool. Maybe. Yeah, I don't have it set up, but I could show you the whole transactions in my Algo wallet and whatnot. But anyway, I don't have it set up in my browser right now. So that's it. So that's if I want to place a buy order. If I want to place a sell order, it's similar. I could just change it to sell, say 0.9. Let's do that. So I have this crazy high buy order I placed before accidentally at 7.5, which doesn't look like it meshes up there, but that's how it works. So, okay, when I place a sell order, what I'm doing is I'm putting in a minimum amount of, basically a minimum amount here of algos to fund the account, because every account has to have a minimum balance. So this XJ, Q, O, and so on, this is the escrow account that I'm creating. And then I'm funding it with the transfer of 10 LAMP. You know it's LAMP because it says transfer. So my algo is working on improving this interface. This is like their MVP interface, but although this has the algo symbol, this is actually LAMPs that's being transferred in.
12 LAMP.
Yeah, 12 LAMP. But they actually were like on the brink of releasing their second interface, which is coming out any day now. So place that. And now, if I want to execute, I go into immediate or cancel mode, and let's say I just want to like buy a whole bunch. So I can say I want to buy price of 1.6, and I want to buy let's see, up to, let's say 80 LAMP. That's too many. Let's see, let's make it like 50. There's still too many. Use the slider. All right, so what I'm doing now is it's actually a batch trade. So it's making a bunch of group transactions that are going to be executing against these orders from lowest to highest. And they're basically separate groups of transactions that get transmitted almost in parallel. So one of these can fail. So each of these pays is part of a different group. Basically a different group of transactions. You want it to partially fail because it's possible that someone else out there could be trying to withdraw money from these exact same escrows at the same time. So it's an expected condition that sometimes you'll try to place a trade and that one will just fail to execute. But you want the other trades to go through. So you don't want these all to be like all or nothing as trades. But within each trade is a group of like 4 transactions, and all of those have to succeed to prevent any kind of cheating. Where you withdraw from an escrow account, you don't pay the person the equivalent amount. So these are all payments from myself to the owners of these escrows. You can actually see I actually own some of these escrows, so I'm actually trading with myself. In the final UI, it's going to block it. It's going to make it so you don't accidentally trade with your own orders, but it's just a small fix. And then you notice this 0.002. And this is because the last execution here is going to be a partial execution. And since the escrow account is going to be paying me, which I'm not signing here, by the way. So let me finish this first. So since the escrow account is going to be paying me the lamps that I'm buying, I have to refund the fees of the escrow account. Otherwise, someone could come in and they could do like 300 partial executions on the same escrow account, just drain it of all the algos because someone just wants to do that, So we're requiring anybody that does a partial execution on an escrow has to refund the fees, which is 0.002. So that's what all this is here. And then so waiting confirmation. I actually bring up on my Algo wallet. So I can show you the, I have it up. So you just saw the price go up here. This is because, we just placed the trade. So that resulted in a bunch of these executions. So, all right, what I can show here is these are the actual trades that went through, which you can see on my Algo wallet. So let's make it full screen. Basically, right, so these are a bunch of trades, and you can see there's a whole bunch because I trade a whole bunch in parallel. So if I go to here, It opens up Algo Explorer, and now you can see the trades that went through, and you can also see when they're placed, which is interesting to look at. So if I go to the app call, this is interesting to look at. So you can see, where is it? Oh, this is a closeout. How do I go back? Let's see. I'm trying to find out where they're actually traded. Oh, they're right here. Sorry, where they're created. So this is an example of where the order was created. And what you can see, it's setting in the stateful contract. So remember, the stateful contract is the order book. So you can see this is the order information. You might be wondering what's 10, what's 9. So what's funny is that in Algorand, you can't store any decimal points in a contract, in a smart contract. So instead of using decimal points, and full credits to Jason for coming up with this, you have to divide one number by the other number. So one's a numerator, one's a denominator. And basically the way Jason did it, don't ask me why, he decided that the denominator divided by the numerator is the price of the ASA. So if you do, I think this is a numerator, this is a denominator, so 9 divided by 10 is the price, so it's a 0.9 price. So to buy the lamp, it costs 0.9 algos. And I just kept with that convention. This is a creator, this is my original wallet address, so this means that anybody who executes this trade must send my wallet address at my algo, the equivalent amount that's set in the teal. And then this is the version of the smart contract. So if we do have different versions, like if we have updates to the stateless contract, that can actually all be tracked in the order book, so that the backend indexer and also the clients know what teal to use to compile and so on. So anyways, back to the demo. So that's how you can do a trade. Now, let's say I were to dump a whole bunch of, let's say I just want to dump a whole bunch of lamp and just force the price down because, I just want to get rid of them, or I want to manipulate the market, or who knows what reason. So let's say I want to sell, how many do I have here? Let's say I want to sell 80. I only have 63, I guess. But anyways, mediator cancel. And I have to change it to sell. But I have a whole bunch. So yeah, I'm like a lamp whale right now. But that's only because I created a coin. So if I just dump it all the way to let's say 0.3, I'll do 0.7. So you're seeing I'm just making a large batch of executions, and like I mentioned before, this one's a fee refund because the last order I'm doing a partial execution on. So just selling a whole bunch of it. All right, got placed. Oh, there we go. So at first it executed the $7 one, so that's why it went up. And then it went all the way down to 0.7, so it caused all these bars. Now it also makes my chart look worse now. That's my fault for placing the $7 one. Anyways, that's the demo of this. I'm going to move on now to some other demos. This is the mobile interface of Algodex. And what you can see here is this is the price, the one being traded. Here's the chart. You can then see the order book. You can place orders, and this is where the order history, the open orders goes, and then the order history, and then current assets. This all needs to be, connected to actual data, but these other parts are working right now. And these are the actual trades. This is real data. So this is from the actual trades that were placed. So that's the mobile interface. Oh, and then I think we're going to talk about the NFT Marketplace. So in parallel, we also had one person building the NFT Marketplace, although he's now going to work back on the main Algodex because we really want it to get released, but can show what we have for that. So we're working on an NFT marketplace also, which is going to become a fully decentralized NFT marketplace. And similar to Algodex. So this will also be governed by the DAO, and it'll use the same Algodex tokens as the utility tokens. So you can see here, we made a pretty cool logo, in my opinion. Kind of like glitches out, on purpose. Anyways, here's the some NFT examples. So yeah, you'll be able to. So unlike Algodex, these will use auctions. So you'll be able to, put them up for auctions and then set expiration dates and so on. And let's see. So yeah, we have a really interesting, part of the reason we're doing this, you might ask, why are we making an NFT marketplace? There's already so many. So we have a very interesting tokenomics model that I don't want to get into right now because it'll spoil it and so on. But basically, it'll be a surprise once we talk about that more. And also, it's going to be a fully decentralized NFT marketplace. So, it has that benefit, and just there's a lot of people that want to use it. So we're basically just not satisfied with the existing offering, so we just want to make our own. And okay, I think that's it for. Oh, right. There's one more other thing. So I want to show this. So this is a very enhanced version of Jason's original interface. And this is just basically where I test all the smart contract code. And so basically what I did, to start this whole project is I didn't have the other UI at all. I just started with Jason's UI and started tampering with it. Like I switched it all. Like Jason's, so the Algorand, I should stop calling it Jason's project. It's the Algorand Sample Dex project. So the Algorand Sample Dex project, it doesn't use escrows, it uses delegated signatures, which are, from the Algorand blockchain perspective, they're almost the same thing in how you actually use them. The only difference is that a delegated signature comes from your wallet address, whereas an escrow account, is an account that the teal is attached to. So one of the first things I did is I switched all the smart contract logic to use escrow accounts instead. And it just kind of went from there. Like I added this 12 selection thing. So I still use this like almost every day to just test out smart contracts. And it's quite a lot of fun, in my opinion. I just really enjoy playing around with smart contracts and just modifying the teal and this whole side of it. It's really enjoyable, honestly. So I would definitely recommend people to check out the Algorand sample projects if you want to get started, because I found that it's easiest to not try to do everything from scratch, but rather to use existing code and then work from there. This applies to all software engineering, not just Algorand. And then if you have any questions, just go to the developer.algorand.org, I think is the URL. And you can look up all the teal opcodes and all the transaction types and whatnot from there.
Yeah, I got some questions for you guys.
Okay. Sure.
There was a question. Maybe tell us just a little bit more about that interface between your database. You talked about this before, where you have a custom indexer,
yeah,
where all of where the order book is stored, and that the client connects to the desktop client that you've been demoing. It connects there. Can you talk a little bit more about the APIs, the database that's there, and how that interface works between the blockchain,
yeah, sure,
the APIs, and the front end?
So basically, all this data here doesn't come directly from the blockchain to the browser. And the reason we did it this way is because if your browser has to do blockchain lookups using the regular indexer, it's going to take a lot of processing power. It's going to have to loop through a bunch of stuff, make a ton of different HTTP requests to some indexer, and it's just going to be way too expensive, especially if you have mobile. So what we did to enhance the user experience is we made a custom indexer just specific to the DEX that will scan every new block, and every time a block comes in, it will then update the order book in a database. But because the authority of truth here basically is the blockchain, we can actually parallel this indexer, and we could deploy this indexer if we wanted to 1,000 different places, or potentially even people could download this indexer in a Docker image and run the indexer themselves on their home computer, if they don't trust using the deployed one possibly. So we have to think about that side of it. We might go down that route too. But anyways, the whole point of the indexer just indexes the blockchain. It's like using the Algorand indexer, but this was specific to our smart contracts, and it just retrieves the order information on the server. It stores that in a database, just what are the current orders, what's the order history, and what's just stuff like that, like what's your balances in different wallets and so on for ASA balances. And then the clients on the web browser then call these APIs to then get that information and display it in the web browser. But on a trust level, the trust doesn't matter as much in my opinion, because let's say the backend indexer is completely lying about all the prices. If you don't like a price, okay, just don't buy it. Like you don't have to place the trade. You know what I mean? So it's not like the end of the world, even if it is lying. And you could go to some. We're going to have it mirrored on different sites too, and the code's going to be, like verified with like I don't know, we call it canaries or something, and so on. But anyways, though, it's just a cache in front of the blockchain. So there's a blockchain data, and this is like a caching layer in front of it that just caches the blockchain data just to deliver it to you. So that's how that works. When you actually place a trade, though, the trade you place goes directly to the Algorand blockchain. It doesn't pass through any of our backend.
Got it.
So that's kind of the distinction there.
Okay.
And if the database gets wiped out, it can automatically rebuild from the blockchain when it reboots and so on.
Got it. Okay. And that infrastructure is hosted where? How does
we're hosting it on AWS at the moment, but we're putting it into a Docker, so it can be hosted anywhere. So anywhere, any server, any Linux server basically can host it. And like I said, it's possible you could even make a downloadable Docker, like the Algorand Docker sandbox. You can have like an Algodex sandbox, so anybody can run the indexer on their own computer. I'm not saying we're going to do this. We have to figure out from a business point of view what we're going to open source, what we're not going to open source, because we're trying to run a business here. We're not trying to run like a giveaway, pure 100% giveaway thing. You know what I mean? So like we have mortgages to pay and whatnot, but anyways.
All right, we've got another question here. So. Yeah. We're familiar with developing applications on top of Algorand, and so we'll get an application ID, and we understand that currently the protocol has a limited number that each account can have. In the future, that will likely change, but for now, are there limitations with the way that you've done this implementation?
Okay, so Jason's implementation did have this problem, but I looked at it and I figured out that if instead of making your wallet opt into the order book, what you can do is first fund the escrow account and then atomically make the escrow account opt into the order book. And then by doing so, because there's an unlimited amount of escrow accounts you can make, you can have an unlimited amount of orders, and that gets around that limitation, because basically the limitation is per account. Right? Because this is all local state in the accounts, all the order entry information. So if you have unlimited accounts, you can have unlimited local state.
Got it.
So that's our solution.
Great workaround.
So, yeah.
Good.
So there can be a million orders on it. One scaling problem is that we can't show all orders at the same time on the UI. So what I'm thinking of doing, or we talked internally with the team about this. We'll probably have some slider in the advanced options that can say, only show me orders that have so many algos in them, or only show me orders that have so many ASAs in them. So let's say you're some so-called whale and you don't care about these little one algo orders that are just spamming your UI, and you'd rather just, do 10,000 algo orders or something or above. Anything else, is not worth your time. You can set the slider and then only execute on those ones, or something similar to that. But then, the smaller traders, like, let's say some retail trader, they only have 50 algos in their account, but they really want to buy some ASA. They'll buy it at, any escrow account, even if there's just 0.5 of whatever they're buying in it, because that's going to get them the best deal. So it's about, do you want something with the most liquidity, or do you want the best deal? So it's a compromise. A centralized exchange doesn't have this problem, of course, because it can queue everything automatically. So whenever you do decentralize anything, there's always trade-offs. Anytime anything's decentralized. So it's all about understanding the trade-offs and the reason why we're even doing a decentralized exchange, and so on. So.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about the order matching piece. Is order matching happening on the user interface side of things in front of then generating that group transaction?
Yeah. So the order matching is 100% on the user interface, and part of the reason for that is that we don't want the users to have to trust the server to do order matching for them. So you basically have to trust the code you downloaded into your browser, and it pops up, it makes a pop-up for you. So if you don't like what's being done, just don't agree to it. So, but in any case, it's all, that's all done in the user interface, all the order matching stuff.
Good. All right. And tell us, okay, so right now what we've been looking at is on testnet. Tell us what tokens have you guys mocked up in testnet, and then also tell us a little bit about the future and kind of what you're looking for, migrating to mainnet as well.
Okay, so I primarily trade the LAMP token. I already talked about that. It's just the first token I made to play around with. We have all these other tokens that are named after people in the team. Like John 1, Doug 1, Gabe 1, etc. Although we haven't traded a lot with them lately, so it's mostly just been LAMP. In terms of our plan, I think we talked about this during the presentation, where first we have to get an audit. So we're queued up. There's a company that's going to be auditing us starting in, they're not starting on this day, but I think early August, they're going to start looking at our smart contracts. And then they're going to, once they're more familiar, then they're going to queue us up to do the audit. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. Also, fortunately, this is a very nice company. They're not making us pay like 50% upfront like some other auditing companies are. But anyways, the plan is to do the audit. Then once the audit's done, even if the user interface isn't completely done and we can legally release it, I just want to release it. So we have to pay lawyers though to set up we're going to set up international entities similar to what Algorand did. We're actually working with the exact same group of lawyers that set up Algorand, which is pretty exciting. So they're all complete experts on how to set up all these structures and whatnot. And that'll help us on the regulatory side and just the legal side in general. There's a lot of legal gray areas with any DEX for any cryptocurrency, so we're trying to navigate that and figure out the best route. In terms of what can be traded, again, we have to work with lawyers. Obviously, we'd like to make it just so every ASA can be traded anywhere, but there are regulations that we have to be mindful of. We just have to figure out the best way to legally navigate that. So I can't make any promises anywhere. We have to basically talk to lawyers a lot about what's the best plan for that.
Got it. Well, how do we get connected with the project? Is it open to participate on testnet? How do we connect with you guys?
Yes. So on algodex.com, you can sign up to be a tester. And then when we do release the alpha testnet, you guys can all hop right on and play around.
Right. So if you go to algodex.com, which will redirect you to about.algodex.com, if you scroll to the very bottom, you can apply to be a tester. And it's pretty cool because quite a lot of people have applied, like actually I think several hundred, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of enthusiasm about
it. Over 800 at this point.
Yep. Yeah. So what we're going to do I think we're gonna have like first an alpha, like a pre-alpha or alpha testnet release that's much more limited. And then we're gonna have probably some second testnet release where we just have everyone who applied as a tester, and then maybe a third testnet release. We still have to discuss this, so I can't promise this exact plan of action, but it'll be similar to this. But then we'll have a third testnet release where just the general public can come in and do anything they want. Is what I'm kind of guessing.
All right, that sounds good. Well, we're going to make sure that we drop the slide deck into the chat window here, and then it'll also be in the show notes down below for the recording. Remind us, how do we connect with you guys on Twitter?
I'm at John Mazzoni. Alex is at A3 Voices and at Algodex.
Very good.
And then I'm going to also drop the Telegram for anybody who's not already in the Telegram.
Thank you guys very much for joining today and showing us all around Algodex, also introducing us to the other suites of products that you guys will be bringing to us. Alexander and John, it was wonderful to have you on Algorand Developer Office Hours. We look forward to seeing you guys hang around here in the future and keep building on Algorand.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone, for viewing.